So everyone has been talking about this massive $55 billion EA buyout, but I feel like there is a darker cloud that has been looming over gaming for the past couple of years now, and that is AI. This is a short video where I want to talk about it, but I also want to get your thoughts on how you feel about the implementation of AI in gaming. What's up, guys? My name is Caleb with a K. I go by Queso on YouTube. I am the founder of a new gaming platform called Player 3 that helps the gaming community create and share content while earning support. Needless to say, I've spoken with hundreds and hundreds of game developers while building the platform, and I've gotten a lot of their thoughts and feedback on AI in specific. But first, let's talk a little bit about EA. So they are currently in the process of being bought out by private equity firms for $55 billion, but they take on $20 billion in debt. If you didn't know what taking on $20 billion in debt means, it means that that's money that the private equity firms will not fund them. They're getting that money from banks, meaning that it's like a loan and they have to pay that back. Now, the way that they said they were going to pay that back is by implementing AI to cut costs and improve profits, but they completely omitted the fact that this means that they will likely lay off hundreds and hundreds of employees. If you've been on LinkedIn over the past 2 years, then you would know that there are plenty of open work banners, but not enough jobs to fulfill those roles. Essentially, vacancies created by companies that are implementing AI to replace employees. Employees' roles and positions that you, the large company, overhired for when things were good, but then had to let go of, like a garage sale when things got bad or back to normal. So nowadays, if you get terminated, if you quit, or if you retire, you get replaced by an AI agent that they believe can do your job instead of just hiring for that new vacancy. Latest that I've heard on it was that there were over 10,000 game developers that had lost their jobs whenever the tech market kind of bust or the AI bubble started forming. And when speaking with these game developers, they do feel some type of way, and I can completely understand why. It's because not only that you fire me or you terminated me or you laid me off and replaced me with an AI model, you're training this AI model with the art and assets that I created. Why would I not feel some type of way about this? And then to mask it, instead of saying that you're laying off individuals to replace them with AI agents or models or whatever other generative methods, you're just gonna say, oh, it's due to corporate restructuring, which is complete BS. If you want to know what companies have gone under corporate restructuring over the past couple of months, it's easy to find, just Google it. Microsoft, Xbox Studios, Ubisoft, Activision and Blizzard, and now EA have all undergone some type of corporate restructuring that somehow resulted in the mass layoff of thousands and thousands of game developers. And that is just to name a few. For 10,000 game developers who have lost their jobs, there has to be a ton of studios that are undergoing these terrible practices. And to make it worse, the CEOs of these large gaming companies are so disconnected that they believe that what they are doing is for the greater good of gaming. Andrew Wilson, the CEO of EA himself, has come out and said that their values and commitment to players and fans around the world has not changed. Well, what about your employees, Andrew? What about the people that got EA to where it is now? What about the game developers and the creators and the artists that are going to lose their job potentially whenever you implement these AI systems into your product in order to cut costs? Do your values matter for arguably the biggest asset that you have? Do your values remain the same for the employees that you hired that you will now let go of and terminate once you implement these AI systems? And again, I want to reemphasize that the way a lot of these LLMs or these AI models are trained is by taking a large data set. In gaming's case, these creators' assets, their art, their previous work that they provided for these companies, they're taking that data and using it in order to build a model that will then generate something that they once created, but a new version of it completely generated by a computer, essentially without a human touch. Essentially, the further and further that we get into this new era of AI, we're going to start losing more and more connection with art. I feel that deeper and deeper as we dive into this era of AI, which is growing at an exponential rate, we're going to start losing more and more of that human connection and that human feel and that human creativity that helped create so much of what we already know and love within the industry. I do believe that gaming is an art, and I believe that gaming has souls, and that can only be done or created by another human. And to me, it's sad because it feels like a lot of these larger gaming corporations have become so money hungry or so focused on stakeholder expectations that they're going to implement it regardless because it's what their stakeholders told them. To me, these leaders in charge have completely lost touch with gaming. They've lost touch with the gamers, they've lost touch with gaming's creators, and at this point, they've lost touch with their own team. Now, it's important to know that not all AI is terrible. AI has been implemented in gaming for years and years and years, but more on a classical or a behavioral level. For example, I've been playing the hell out of Ghost of Yotei lately. The computers that you were fighting in Ghost of Yotei, the bird that follows you around wherever you go until you follow it, the wolf that knows how to attack and when to attack and where to attack, That is all some type of classical or behavioral AI. It could also be called procedural AI. Essentially, it is a bunch of branches or conditionals that say, if this, then this, if this, then this, and then you get that end result after a certain condition is met. I like to consider this as logical AI, basically things that enhance the user's experience whenever they're playing a game and enhance gameplay. But when you get into the generative side of things, that is where game developers draw the line, and that is where us as gamers need to learn to draw the line as well, because they are losing their jobs for this. Unless you've been living under a rock, then you should know by now that generative AI is basically how you can generate content like audio, images, video, simply from a prompt. If you have the patience to go back and forth with it, then you will eventually get what you want. And that is essentially what these larger gaming companies are starting to do in order to generate their content. Again, you've probably already seen some of this from some of the games that you play because they are not required to disclose it. However, some people are talking about it, and if you didn't know, then you won't know. But I think that that is truly where the problem lies, because what was made was generated or developed based on a data set from existing art that was created by a past or former or current employee in some way, shape, or form. And that is the problem. I do believe that there are some great use cases for it, like medical advancements or just medical research, boosting your existing programming efficiency, boosting a workflow or something like that. But I do not believe that it should be used to replace an existing employee for creative or artistic assets. I do believe that these existing companies that are implementing AI and laying off thousands and thousands of workers are misusing AI essentially. I believe that us as gamers and just being within the gaming community in general need to have a united front with the developers that have created some of the greatest experiences that we have had ever since gaming was first invented up until now. I think when these large companies are implementing AI or going about laying off employees to implement AI in these systems that can replace their existing workforce, I think they should have to disclose it. I think it should be a requirement to disclose this with their company and with the public, because we deserve to know, especially when the game that we're playing has character designs, art, sound, music, or whatever other assets that were generated by AI but made by other employees or former employees, or who knows, from some other data set that they found from another library. But I'd love to know your thoughts on this. Where do you stand with AI in gaming? I know where I stand, and I am on the side of the game developers. As a founder of a gaming company, I'm going to do everything that I can to continue to support the gaming community, gamers, game developers, and content creators as a whole. And full transparency, like, we don't have any AI on the platform, and I hope to keep it that way. But if we ever do implement AI for any logical reasons or anything like that, I'll be fully transparent and tell you guys or ask you guys if what we're doing is okay. And I believe that that is another huge issue within gaming right now, is that the CEO just truly does not care about their fans. They don't care about their players. They don't care about anything but meeting these arbitrary goals set by shareholders or whoever else. And that has got to change, because people are quickly falling out of love or losing whatever nostalgic value or feelings or memories that they once had, and just going to the new thing because it's a new feeling, it's a new experience, it's a new journey that they can take and start fresh. And Andrew Wilson, the CEO of EA, the guy that says that their values have not changed or will remain unchanged, but are going to implement AI in order to cut costs and boost profits, I just have one thing to say to you.
Shut up, bitch!